if the French left had not gotten together and got their shit in order, it would have been a massive far-right W. It would have been a far-right victory. This is massive. This is genuinely a massive sea change. Anyway, we're going to talk about France. We're going to talk about some big dubs for the socialism in France, dude. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that right now. Let's talk about some good shit, okay? Let's talk about some good shit, not some bad shit. Hold on. Hold on. A glimmer of hope. Yeah, dude. England, Keir Stalin, okay? The Popular Front victory. The Popular Front victory. The new Popular Front victory in France. The Labour victory in England. It's over. Europe, a specter is haunting Europe. The specter of communism, okay? It's the Paris Commune, Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. Okay, it's happening. It's happening. It's happening pretty hard. I will say this much. I have more confidence in the French New Popular Front than I do with the Labour Party, partially because I'm maybe not as well read on the New Popular Front and what their attitudes are across the board. But I do think that, like, at least with Mélenchon, there are definitely way more radical elements within the New Popular Front than the Labour Party. I will say that much. So, you know, there is a, you know, there is more, they're significantly more like real left adjacent than the current Labour is. You know what I mean? All right, let's, yeah, he's good. Mao, Lenin, Sean. Exactly. All right, but let's do it. Let's do it. Let's talk about it. Let's do it. Let's talk about the top of the hour ad break, which comes at the top of the hour every hour. There's a 3-minute ad break right now. That's right. If you no longer want to see Le Az at the top of the hour, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with our Twitch Prime. Here it is. Vive la socialisme! Vive la France! Ultra rare French W. Anyway, all right, let's continue.
Quite an extraordinary sort of early outcome that you're talking about there, Adam, and the opposite of what we've been hearing all week, especially after that first set of results came out last Sunday, and especially given, as you say, they were gathered there to celebrate, and what we're seeing at the moment is something very, very different. After, frankly, for weeks we were hearing that the far right were at the gates of power.
Yeah, exactly right. You just heard more booing there. I mean, I think there is a sense that is creeping into these people. On the other side of the room, they brought champagne into this meeting. These people thought they were on the cusp of history. The Rassemblement National, I don't think they expected tonight to get an overall majority. They did expect to be the biggest party in Parliament. They've been hearing that for the past week. But what happened was this, what's called a Republican front, where the left and the centre came together. Now that, on the face of it, sounds like it might be straightforward. It is hard sometimes to overestimate the dislike between Emmanuel Macron, the president, the centrist president, and Jean-Luc Mélenchon, the leader.
Adam, I'm going to interrupt you.
Group there.
At least for now, at least, and hoping the rest of the night is borne out by the initial promise.
You're covering the headline. It doesn't matter. Ladies and gentlemen, France's left-wing New Popular Front is currently leading in the exit polls.
The National Rally headquarters, which now feels very much like a wake. You can see their live shots.
We'll watch the Mélenchon speech.
Our candidates, we decided to fight. My commitment in this campaign was a responsibility Right
They're
through
going to
the
guillotine Le
campaign,
Pen, dude.
I
That's what they have to
alerted on three
do.
risks. The risk
This is
of
how
an
it works.
absolute majority dominated by France Insoumise, and the risk of a majority by the National Rally, and also the risk of a movement that incarnates our ideas and values. These three risks were, in fact, set aside by the French people. This evening, there's no absolute majority that can be obtained by the extremes, and we owe this to this French spirit, which is so deeply attached to the Republic and to its values. And this evening, the political current that I represented during this election, that of the Republic and that of progress, that of authority and of work, that of the ecological transition and the European construction, is certainly alive and well. Thanks to our determination, thanks to the strength of our values, we were able to hold. We are upright, and we have 3 times more MPs than some of the polls said at the beginning of the campaign. Of course, I have a thought for all candidates who are representing the Republic, and also for those who sadly have lost this election. And I'm also thinking of those who decided to withdraw between the 2 rounds. And I'd like to thank each and every one of them, express my affection and my absolute loyalty. Ladies and gentlemen, to be prime minister,
Dude,
is
I've been hitting on
my life.
a lot of the
I've
Frenchies that I've been hitting up have been very, very excited. They were legitimately terrified of Le Pen. I'll be honest, I did not think. I do have to give flowers. I do have to give the flowers to the reverse of what happened in Nazi Germany, to the Republicans here, okay? Respect to Macron, okay, for pulling this shit off, and then even caving and capitulating and saying, no, we have to collaborate with the left. Legitimately, this is a very unexpected French W. Okay, let me explain something to you guys. Very, very unexpected French W. It partially happened as a consequence of the left actually getting together and not thrashing one another in the lead up and creating the new Popular Front. If they had not done that, if they literally did it like they did last time, where all of the Greens, the Socialists, Communists, every other party was like anti-Mélenchon, if they did the same thing they did last time around, which gave Macron more staying power in the French Parliament last time around, even though the what is it, unbowed France unbowed, like the Mélenchon's party was unironically doing fairly well. He was in 3rd place. If the French left had not gotten together and got their shit in order, it would have been a massive far-right W. It would have been a far-right victory. They got together, they showed unity, and they forced, because of Macron's overwhelming unpopularity, they forced the Republicans to basically bow down to the new Popular Front. And I will say, I don't think the Democratic Party would have ever done a similar thing in the United States of America if there was an actual social democrat that won the Democratic primary somehow. Okay? This is massive. This is genuinely a massive sea change. Macron was telling his candidates to stay in the race to give seats to the far right. Wait, really? No, I thought that, like, in case you missed it, a Macronist candidate said today that he was dropping out to block the far right in spite of getting a personal request by Macron not to do so. That's actually kind of surprising, because I don't believe this, because overall, I'm pretty sure Macron and many of the party leadership literally said, like, no, we are going to collaborate. We are going to collaborate. And whoever has the best chance of winning, you have to vote for them in districts there. Yeah, this is basically what happened. The center stopped punching left for once, and the left won over the far right. It's really not too complicated. Exactly. One thing that helped NFP is 90% of its leading heads aren't decrepit dinosaurs. Yeah, they definitely did not pull the Democratic Party move. Also, another major problem, and I can't believe I'm saying this, is Mbappe. Marine Le Pen, like a dumbass that she is, was shitting on perhaps one of the most popular one of the most popular people in France in general, leading up to the second round of the elections, which is so stupid. Why the would you do that? Like, it makes no sense. It's not a joke. Like, literally, that's not even a joke. Most of the most famous French football players are like of African origin usually, and Le Pen is unironically very racist. So when she shit on Mbappe, like, you know, it was cooked. She just couldn't dial back the racism. She couldn't dial back the racism until she got over the finish line. Okay. It's like hating on LeBron in Cleveland right before the finals. Yeah, exactly. It's so stupid. France 24 was so surprised by the exit poll, they forgot to change the graphics. Republicans, unaffiliated, right wing, together, presidential majority, unaffiliated, left wing, new popular front. Yeah, the percentages are fucked up here. Far right alliance, 132 to 152, much larger share of the vote than the 172 to 192 on the new popular front. Yeah. Anyway, only 50% of Macron voters voted for a leftist against far right, when 74% of leftist voters voted for centrist against far right. Yeah. Sports accounts literally turned against Le Pen. It is very stupid. It is a very, very stupid thing to do. You shouldn't do that. You should not shit on some of the most famous people in the country leading up to an election because of your unimaginably racist principles. Le Pen forgot what got her to this level of prominence to begin with, which was dialing back the anti-Semitism, dialing back the racism, so she could be like, oh, that was the old me. When I'm fucked up, that's the real me. She pulled the exit valve of racism, and it backfired on her in an unimaginable way. Anyway, let's take a look at France's Unbound. France Unbound, Jean-Luc Mélenchon, Prime Minister Attal should step down. Let's take a look.
At the end of this electoral campaign, where everybody was confronted with their choices, the people finally has chosen, and I can only recognize the efforts made by all those who finally arrived at tonight's result. And I can only hail those who accepted to run, those who accepted to step down, and all those who went door to door, face to face, to convince everyone, and at the end, obtain a result which was claimed to be impossible. There was a huge effort of civil responsibility. We can only admire this at a time when political life seems to be receding. We were able to push the threat away. Tonight, the national rally is far from having the absolute majority that seemed to be within reach a couple of weeks ago. Quite the opposite. It's a huge relief for a huge majority of people in the country, those who make up the new France and those who have always loved France with Republican passion. These voters were concerned, but now they can be reassured they have won. With their ballots, a majority made a new choice for the country. The will of the people must be strictly respected, and from now on, no arrangement, no combination will be acceptable. Indeed, the lessons of this vote are quite clear. The defeat of the president and his coalition have been confirmed. The president must recognize
They fixed the graphic afterwards to reflect the actual seats.
this defeat and should not attempt to circumvent it in any way. The Prime Minister...
How much of this affects Palestine? Both Keir Starmer, from what I understand, Keir Starmer putting like a pro-Palestinian person, and I think I saw Keir Starmer also say that like they are demanding a ceasefire in Gaza, and the French left is also significantly more pro-Palestinian than Macron is. So I think that like ultimately, this will be good. It will create additional pressure from two massive European countries. Like, this is from 6 hours ago. Starmer, Palestinian state undeniable right as a part of peace process. This could be lip service, but it definitely is like, I mean, I would say that it's a pretty solid start. Yeah, like Keir Starmer in a call with Benjamin Netanyahu called on him to bring about an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. And I'm pretty sure the New Popular Front's like attitude towards Palestinians is significantly better than Macron. So much so that like Mélenchon has been called an anti-Semite, which in France is like might be good for his re-election chances in general. But yeah, it is actually pretty good, I think.
Must step down. Indeed, he never received the trust of the National Assembly. He's just run this campaign that his camp has lost, and this was a complete disavowal by the people. It is the president's duty to call on a new Popular Front to run the country. The new Popular Front is ready. It will abide by the mandate given by its candidates. It will be as good as its word. The new Popular Front will apply its...
Wasn't Keir Starmer pro-Israel in the lead up to election? He was definitely baby shit in terms of his criticisms against Israel for most of the election, and maybe he's like flipping it on. Maybe he was a real socialist. Maybe he was doing a secret. Maybe he was just like secretly appearing to be center right while he was simultaneously the realest one of all. Like I said, like I joked about before, like maybe he was just like ousting Corbyn because he wasn't. He was ousting Corbyn because Corbyn wasn't hardcore enough. He's a secret Stalinist. He is like, yeah, no, none of this like worker council bullshit. Like, we're doing full centralization. Okay, the countryside belongs to the peasants. We're gonna give them back. We're doing cooperative ownership, all controlled by the federal government. That's what Starmer's attitude is. Keir Stalin. Damn, Keir's a Trotskyite. Entryism works. No, he's not. He's a fake Trotskyite. Even though he was younger in his younger days, he's just dropped that shit. He elevated his stances. He's actually a Stalinist. Yeah, he's building the Vanguard Party. The Labour Party is going to change its name to the Vanguard Party.
Its program, nothing but its program, but all of its program.
En effet, celui-ci forme un tout dont on ne peut dissocier
this program is a whole, none of the constituents can be separated.
It's pretty funny because like Mélenchon, I forget. Wait, how old is Mélenchon? So one of Mélenchon's like weaknesses in the last election cycle was how old he is, and like he's 72 years old. Okay, he's 72 years old, but like obviously he's like significantly with it, and they would say that he's like an old man, right? And that's such a funny meme to consider when you look at American politics, because he's a spring chicken in the United States of America. Okay, as a 72-year-old, he's like considered one of the younger members of the party leadership. Like, French people look at him and go, "Oh, what the fuck are we doing? He's too old to run for office. Like, what are we doing?" In America, we look at that and we're like, "Wow, what a vibrant young candidate. I wish we could have a vibrant young candidate like that." Like, think about that. Think about that. They literally are like, "Oh, he's too old." Can you imagine a world where we look at a guy like this who's 72 and go, "Oh man, he's just too old." In America, yeah, people call him the old man. He's very good. If you only understood French cognitively, he's at 100%. I'm just saying, it's like funny to think that like for French politics, like they look at him and they're like, "Oh, he's too old. He's too old to run for office." Like, why doesn't he step aside and give why doesn't he step aside and let some younger candidates run the party. And it's so funny because like from where I'm standing, I'm looking at this like 72. He's with it. This is like a beautiful person to run for the, Democratic Party. Oh, he is. He's going to retire pretty sure. I mean, I'm just saying, like, still ridiculous to consider him to be an old person by American standards.
From the expenditures or the measures that are to come into force.
Les mesures prévues par ce programme peuvent être prises par décret sans vote.
From this summer on, the new measures can be adopted by decree, abrogating retirement at age 64, blocking the prices, increasing minimum wage.
Bro, by the way, dude, remember when you guys said, why don't you meme good things into existence? Remember when I memed about Keir Starmer technically secretly being a Stalinist? Labour will renationalize Britain's railways as soon as possible, says Louise Haig, the new transportation secretary. What the fuck is going on, dude? I was just joshing, okay? I was just joking about this Keir Stalin shit. And Comrade Starmer is just, he's with it, dude. Dangism, Starmerism. Yeah, Starmer is bringing about a regime change. He's doing socialism with English characteristics. Don't read the fine print. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I still don't believe him. I still don't like him. I still don't believe him. Like I said, I hope I'm so wrong. I hope I'm like entirely wrong about my assessment of the labor. Entirely wrong about the assessment that I made, the predictions that I made overall, that like labor will be feckless. They will be opening up the wave for reform to take over entirely. Hopefully I'm wrong. That English characteristic, transphobia. Anyway, this is barely a left-wing position in Europe, to be fair. Brother, England is so far removed from the left-wing position of Europe broadly that like England is literally galloping towards an American-style neoliberal institution, okay? You don't understand. They've actually passed America on the anti-trans shit already, and they're trying to catch America on neoliberalization, on privatization of like other state-owned enterprise in general, or previously state-owned enterprise. So like low-key, this is a big move for England. Talking about England while on the French election, Hassan, you want us to begin another 100 years war? No, there will be no 100 years war because, like I said, Keir Stalin and the New Popular Front are ideological allies, okay? They are aligned with one another ideologically because they're both Maoist third worldists, okay?
Convention, the convening of collective bargaining agreements. All this work is before us. We announced it last week and we will confirm this to the President of the Republic. We will not get into negotiations with his party to engage in combinations, especially having fought relentlessly for the past 7 years his policy of social mistreatment and his positions that the French people have disavowed, especially after the vote has made this so clear, especially after the new People's Front, in spite of all the blows received on all sides, all the insults, will stand up and keep and abide by the mandate given by the people. From now on...
Do you think Macron expected this to happen? I would assume he would do anything to kill socialism or the left. I don't think he expected this to happen. I think that he predicted that the left would not be able to organize, and what happened last time around that allowed Macron to win would happen again. But then the left actually created the New Popular Front in a matter of days. Like, they literally immediately... Macron came out of nowhere and was like, we're breaking the parliament. We're going to do a new election. His own party leadership did not even know that this was going to happen. And it was a dangerous gambit, especially because he did this immediately after the far right won massively in the European Parliament elections. So for him to do this in the eve of like the nationalist momentum that was occurring in the country got everyone to go, whoa, 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 what the fuck's going on? And I think I mean, I guess the best assessment of the situation is that Macron did this specifically because he wanted to like at least own the first 2 years. I believe he had 2 more years of the potential like nationalist parliament. So he could like in his mind, he could potentially control 3 years. Sorry. Thank you. He could control the like next 3 years of like a nationalist parliament, but at least he could like dial it back in his own assessment, because he probably thought, you know, yes, my party is actually very unpopular right now. And yes, the far right nationalists are going to most likely win, but at least I can like control it a little bit and rein it in a little bit. But what ended up happening was that the New Popular Front got their shit together and created a coalition instantly. And when that happened, they got second place. The Nationalist Party got first place in the first round of the elections. And the Popular Front, comprised of a bunch of leftist French parties that previously were famously infighting all the time, got second place. And Macron's party actually lost a lot of momentum and barely got third place, like with 20% of the vote or something. So because of that, they had to, even if it was just a save face, they had to get together and say, oh, in order to defeat the far right, we have to put up candidates. We have to only put up candidates that are slated to win in the second round. So what ends up happening in that situation is like if you have an area where like a New Popular Front candidate is going to defeat the nationalist candidate, you pull your candidate out. If you have a area where the Republican candidate is going to win over the Popular Front candidate is going to win, then you pull out the Popular Front candidate. So that's, you know, that's basically what happened. Sometimes dudes do in fact rock. This is how they won. Yeah, it's true. This is how they won. Yeah, there was 210 candidates from the left and center, which pulled out in the second round. It was absolutely massive and unprecedented. Yeah, they made sure not to split the vote against the far right, which was great. And in spite of it all, from what I understand, when you look at the actual results and the splits, it does seem like stronger than expected transfer from left voters to Macronists and vice versa to Bloc RN. Yeah. Recap from Taniel. Exit polls 90 minutes ago show surprise. Left first, Macronist second, RN third. Since then, results in from many districts, they're confirming that big picture and show why. Stronger than expected transfers from left voters to Macronists and vice versa to Bloc RN, which is the nationalists. What do you mean control, though? The president doesn't even have actual veto power without controlling the parliament. I don't see how 3 years of cohabitation would have helped him against the right, except to make him look like a fool. It is still stupid. Don't misunderstand me. I think it was a dumb decision regardless, but that is the only way that this makes sense. It doesn't make sense any other way. Why the fuck would he do this? He knows he's deeply unpopular. He knows that his party is deeply unpopular. He knows that the far right is growing in momentum. He literally called these elections like right after the nationalists won big in the European Parliament election. So, like, what was his internal calculation? I don't know. I have no idea he's not stupid. His plots are just too complex for you. Yeah, he has the complexity that I cannot understand. He actually secretly wanted the left to win, I guess. They didn't win, though. They don't have a majority without an alliance with Macron. You know that, right? Who cares? Like, they'll try to fuck up the bag. They'll try to do everything that in their power to undermine the legislative agenda, but ultimately it still doesn't matter. Yeah, secret Macron. Yeah, oh no, they have to capitulate with liberals instead of fascists. How terrible. Exactly. Macron famously said, I've been preparing this for weeks and I'm delighted. I've thrown my grenade at their legs. Now we'll see how they deal with it. He doesn't know what he's doing. Yeah, bro, he threw the grenade at their legs and then they kicked the grenade back to Macron and it exploded in his face, it seems. So I don't know. My thoughts are too complex for journalists, says Emmanuel Macron. Nobody knows what he was thinking, dude. Nobody can make sense of this man's brilliance, okay? It is his mind. His mind shatters the average political understanders' expectations, okay? You cannot comprehend. You cannot comprehend what he was thinking. What is this? Is true and you know it. Emmanuel Macron apology form. Nah, NFP did all the work. Fraud Cron got saved by the left. Is true. You didn't think he bet. You think he didn't bet on this? Please don't disrespect the greatest statesman of the 21st century. Are you kidding me? I think Macron was about to kill himself and have the left win, dude. There's no shot. Like, I don't think he's a secret Marxist-Leninist or some shit. I think people are ridiculous. the greatest statesman of 21st century. In all seriousness, I genuinely think his initial thinking when he called the election was Le Pen will win the election, her governance will be bad, which will damage her over 2027, which is so callous and sociopathic. Yeah, he's Marx Cron. Marxism, Macronism. He's a real one. This is like reverse Germany, dude. This is reverse like Germany in the lead up to the Nazi rise of power. Okay? Instead of capitulating to the far right, he ended up having to capitulate to the left, which is shocking. Macron is quiet quitting. His party spokesperson already said Mélenchon and France Unbowed cannot be left to govern France, but that their party is ready to work with the Republican parties. Yeah, at most, first of all, it's just going to be a liberal coalition. If they want to, in order to get shit done, they're going to have to, you know, the New Popular Front is going to have to work with the liberals here, the Republicans. But it doesn't matter. Together, presidential majorité, unaffiliated left wing, New Popular Front. Problem is, NFP leaders are signaling they will stick together. Bro, imagine the left winning in France and sends the left wave in Germany. Since left wins now, next presidential, the far right will switch to Macron to prevent left on top. Macron hopes. I don't know about that. The American liberals are so stupid. Breaking. Paris AP. French far right falls short of expectations and trails leftist rivals in legislative elections, pollsters say. But the polls and pundits said, ... never mind. Wait, what? So are people upset about this in America? Like, I'm so confused. Like, why do you care? It's France. You know what I mean? Like, we care because we're nerds. But, like, why would any American be like, oh, I can't believe Macron is no longer in power? Or, oh, no, like, the national is lost? Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, American Democrats are upset? Very weird. It's not even MAGA. I think it's, like, liberals. Anyway, let's look at Daniel. What's happening right now on TV, something very familiar in countries with a full parliamentary regime, fight over coalitions. Macronists and center-right are arguing this isn't a left wing, suggesting a center-left to center-right unity government. Left is insisting that this is a left win. This is exactly the sort of district that is causing the shock result tonight. RN got 40% of the first round, with 6% going to another right-wing candidate. Left was at 30%. Macron has dropped out, and vote transfers ended up being quite strong. Left won by 1%. Here's one that's showing a different dynamic. An RN win in a situation where vote transfers against it weren't quite strong enough. In the Southwest District, RN had gotten 44% against incumbent left MPs 37%, with no conservative candidate eliminated. Tonight, RN won 59 to 49%. This may end up being the closest result of the night. In Dordogne 4th District, with all precincts reporting per the Interior Ministry, RN is ahead of left by 74 votes. Marine Le Pen's sister lost her bid to join the parliament. Her left opponent won by 0.5%. See below for context. Macronist, who came in third, initially said she wouldn't drop out, but then changed her mind, ended up blocking Le Pen. By the way, I will say, I mean, this is still a pretty big fucking surge for far-right parties. That is another scary reality here, just like with reform in the UK. You know, so it's not exactly just a moment of victory to be like super stoked. This is something to still pay attention to. And there is a lot that needs to be done in order to undermine the confidence that people have in the far right in France. Same goes for the UK. Okay. This is something that people need to pay attention to. And what the French government does in the upcoming years will determine whether the far right will win majorly, and the unpopularity of Macron, if that anger and that resentment transfers to the left-wing coalition, okay, if the liberals do everything they can to basically undermine, which they probably will try to do, if they successfully undermine the New Popular Front agenda, okay, then feckless inability to actually commit to a legislative agenda that truly tries to improve the material conditions of the French working class and try to actively undermine the radicalism that is growing in France, if they cannot fight against this with good economic policies and change the tide on neoliberalism, next time around, the far right will win majorly. They will win big, okay? And the same exact principle stands for the UK. Same exact situation that I described in the UK. This is something to pay attention to. This is a good moment. This is a moment of victory. This is a moment of celebration. And it's great and it's wonderful, but it's still very scary, okay? I would say, however, that it's still a bigger moment of celebration than the UK for a multitude of reasons. One, because like Le Pen's staying power and popularity is more significant than reform, right? And the transfer of power is changing hands to an actual committed, as far as I understand, an actual committed left-wing coalition, rather than a left-wing coalition that'll still be undermined by liberals for sure, but more openly left-wing nonetheless. In comparison to Keir Starmer's like active advocacy to be like as center-right as possible in control of labor. Now we'll see what happens. We'll see what Keir Starmer does if he follows through on his promises. If he follows through on his promises to, you know, push to the center, then it's cooked, right? If he follows through on his promises to push to the center, then it is genuinely scary. Reform will gain momentum. Reform will what's up? Oh, we're celebrating French socialism and the specter haunting Europe, the specter of communism.
Our girl won.
Oh,
I like it. Gotcha, yeah.
He said our girl won? Question mark. This fucking asshole.
I forgot
dude.
that you were Turkish.
What do you mean?
I mean,
what does that have to do with anything?
You're the guy.
You need to pull another chair. Okay, lock her ass in here. No, unfortunately, your girl lost, dude. Yeah, I know. You're very sad.
Yeah, I love the pen.
Bro, what the Yo, that is for a kid, dude. That's a kid lock. Bring a chair. That one's going to be too big, probably. Thank you, Alexa, for stepping in to bring a real leftist opinion into the room.
Yeah. It's called accelerationism.
Yeah.
We have to inoculate France against the far right by voting for the far right.
Yeah. Your opinion is shared by every centrist, surprisingly. Yeah, that's how I always do it.
It was saying Alexa play communist music. It'd be great if everywhere you walk it was just
a song,
an anthem with you.
It kind of is like that.
This haircut's looking clean, by the way.
For who?
The reaction of the RM voters as they get the results live. The videos are too funny. Hit me with some videos. Let's watch them crash and burn.
That's so good.
Okay. Gabriel Attal, sitting prime minister, is now speaking. He says this dissolution, snap election call, I didn't choose it. Veiled criticism of Macron, given a lot of reporting on Attal not knowing about Macron's decision and doing a lot more than Macron to block far right this week. Attal says he will resign as prime minister. This is not surprising. Macron did a lot better than they were fearing, but they will lose a lot of seats. They lost like 80 plus seats, I think. Jesus. They are no longer in a position to govern by themselves or nearly by themselves since 2002 like they have since 2017.
What's the rationale here? They just like he called it because he wanted the far right in. He wanted to discipline the left.
Dude,
what's the
absolutely zero people. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I try to make sense of it, but I mean, he said my thoughts are too complex for the journalist. Yes, you do not understand. I had a very good move here. Yeah, no, I think he's a secret Marxist Leninist. Like he wanted the New Popular Front to win. Yeah, that's what he was doing. That's why he was like he was showing the world how unpopular and unfavorable neoliberalism is. Yeah. That's why he just kept doing like comically evil shit. Like, yeah, if you want to retire at the age of 65, we're going to kill you now. No one in the country wanted that. And he was like, no, but we're going to do that to show you I'm doing this for neoliberalism.
Didn't he lower the age of consent as well? Was that
no, he made it. I didn't think they had one.
That's what he did.
No, they didn't have one.
Oh, okay.
No,
he brought it in he brought it up to like 12 or something.
Very unpopular move. Yeah. That was another way to, show that neoliberalism is bad for the French. Let's spread that rumor though.
Wait, isn't his wife like 100?
Yeah,
She was like a MILF.
he's
She
a
was a MILF.
reverse. Yeah, he's a reverse pedophile. Like he was predated on. Yeah, his wife was
His
like
wife's the pedo.
his wife was like his teacher. Someone
Yeah.
has to
so
be
hot.
Maths teacher.
someone has to be in a inappropriate relationship in France. Like if they can't, like
can't
one
do it.
partner has to be of age and the other has to be underage. There's no other way to do it. Yeah. Are an election evening in the Bois de Vincennes, activist with a crestfallen expression who expected everything except the left in the lead.
Oh, these right-wing activists.
You can't tell by this fucking
I was
ghoul.
about to comment on that guy.
Like that guy, 100%. Like it's just that's a Nazi. That's a French Nazi. He's like, oh, Vichy
It's a
France.
universal look, though. That's what they
Yeah.
look like in Australia.
He looks like he's on hunger strike until the Nazis get back in. His eyes are like sunken.
Yeah, it's a classic. That's a classic Nazi phenotype right there. Oh,
Oh, they're so
Aw.
nervous.
That girl's staring directly at us.
another dude. That last one is also another classic.
Yep.
Another classic look.
Nice.
This is how we have to dress at RNC.
Yeah,
I wanna wear
we're
suits.
trying. We're trying to go into the RNC. By the way, one thing to notice that like the French right is pretty young, which is scary
yeah.
to consider. French left is pretty young. French right is also pretty young. Boo! What happened?
Alors une réaction?
Clapping?
Backwatch! R.I.P. Buzzer! Ah!
Une réaction? Comment vous vous sentez?
Déçu, mais on va continuer demain.
Yeah. This is please put the reactions on RN voters under this tweet.
Oh, they're older. That's
Yeah,
nice.
this is more normal. This is more but
They're younger.
no, they still have young people, dude. It is like this is the coalition for the for the nationalists. Like it's like a bunch of young
old.
people and like super old racists, like old school racists that are like they want to bring back Vichy France. They were there. They were collaborationists. Once again, Hogwatch, French Hogwatch, it hits the same. I need you to understand something. This is why I always say like there is a universality to politics, and that is like everyone is in love with watching the hogs cry. This is like watching pigs squeal is always delectable. I want to watch him cry.
Oh, he's already cried.
We will not be able to kill the Muslim. This is so sad. There is going to be a kebab shop in every corner. No! Funny, right as you cover France politics, your commentary turns to phenotypes, and it's really telling. Yes, it's telling that at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break, and you thought that that was a good two-parter bait, but it's not, okay? I'm on my shit. I'm back, dude. I'm back in America, goddammit. My feet are firmly planted on U.S. soil right now, bitch. You think you can come at me with that bullshit? At the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. If you no longer want to see the ads, all you need to do is subscribe. That's right, for 5 francs. Or for free was a Twitch Prime. Here's a 3-minute ad break now.
I can't tell if it's better or worse than his Aussie accent.
I mean, it sounds better, but I've never met a French
I think
person
that's
in my
just 'cause
life.
we were racist.
Never met a
Yeah.
French person.
No, we met one.
I watched Ratatouille.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with the culture.
Yeah. What is this? There are Nazi groups on WhatsApp text calling for attacking left groups. A lot of stores are closed. They have a list of things to bring, mass, etc. Pack wash, baby. Bust out the guillotines. Isn't that what the French do? Like that's what do you mean? If you catch them in the streets, you have to punish them. That's how it works. Anyway, this is a good day. It's a good day.
I just wish they were crying more. I want to see some actual tears.
Wait, what are they? They're just clapping for.
Oh, we watched this one already. Why is the translate not working?
He's double parking the flags. That's real patriotic.
What is this? Lucas Jean-Luc?
Oh, yeah, I've seen that
This
one.
is how he
That's
won.
cool.
This is why he won, bro. This is why he won.
What is that guy? It says
Yeah.
300 euros.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's cheap.
No, it's not cheap.
Really?
But,
You guys
but
ever
he's
tried
hot,
to
though.
fuck
He's
a man
sexy.
before?
He's sexy.
A man like that.
Yeah.
He's sexy. That's why his price is up.
Yeah.
Like if he like that guy probably goes for less. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We need election fraud hogs now. Why do the French hate Muslims so much? They're jealous. That's why.
Well, their croissants are based on the There you go.
I was about to
Based
make
on
a
what?
joke on that.
Based on the what?
Based
Go
on
ahead,
the,
say it.
Based on the crescent.
Yeah.
The
Where
Turkish.
does that come from?
Serbia. The Turks stole it from
Oh,
us.
you mean the Ottoman supremacy? Is that what you were about to say?
No, we do just really...
I've been telling everybody at the basketball course that he's Albanian.
You are.
Might as well.
Anyway, yes, that's right. French croissants are because of the crescent, because of the Ottoman domination of Europe. One day we will return.
Oh, stop the steal.
Another stolen election. French Communist Socialist Bloc victorious after making a deal with Macron. Breitbart. Americans are mad that the nationalists lost in France. Like, it's just, dude, you don't even care. You don't know anything. Shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Oh, there's some tears.
Yeah.
Let's go.
He's shaking. Merde.
Merde! Putain!
They've got kids.
Oh, they're crying as well. Look at the girl on the right.
There are going to be Muslims in their classroom.
Yeah, dude. They're going to be forced to wear the hijab. Let's go. Let's go.
They look like the kid from those AI English memes of like
Yeah.
the little girl in the school bus with all the laughing Muslims around.
What is this? Le racisme pleure, Jésus mort, dérive, entertainment. What? The racists are crying. I really died of laughter.
Et ce soir, je pleure encore. Au-delà de... Et pour moi, c'est mourir à une séquence. Pour moi, c'est pareil. Et au-delà de l'Assemblée nationale, je pense à...
Okay. Where is it? End wokeness got mad? This is insane. Macron's party colluded with the far-left socialists in order to block a Le Pen win. 200 candidates dropped out last week, coalescing against the far-right. Well, the coup just paid off. The socialists won first place. It looks like France will not be saved.
Is that collusion? Is that what that means?
I mean,
I guess
technically he's not wrong, and technically end wokeness is not wrong, except that's how it works. Like, what do you mean? He's calling it a coup, but like, no, that's literally how this works. This is what happened last time as well. Yeah, it's like barely a coalition too. It's not even like a real coalition.
Isn't it like tradition over there? Like when they go to the spill-offs, the person who came third just leaves.
Yeah. Breaking. President of the Parliamentary Bloc of France, Insoumise, Mettez Le Pen. Within the next 2 weeks, we will recognize the state of Palestine.
Holy shit.
That's crazy. This is why I said it's like pretty good.
Do French people do this one too?
What do you mean?
I thought it was like a Muslim scholar kind of.
No, that's because she's a Islam.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's saying like only one God, Allah. Yeah, she has found the light of Allah.
Immediately.
That's right. This dude, they're Islamists, dude. Yeah. Yeah. A radical wave of Islam. The specter that's haunting Europe is not communism, it's Islamism. She said this Shahada. She is going to Jannah. Here's the, like I said, we covered this already. We have, there were stronger than expected transfers from the left voters to Macronists and vice versa, the Bloc RN. Speaking right now, Eric Ciotti, remember him? He was a head of LR/right a month ago when he unilaterally decided to ally with the RN/far right. His party rushed to throw him out. He won re-election, but a big loser tonight since he threw away his leadership but didn't win power. Ipsos, the pollster whose first exit polls in the first post in the thread, just released an updated exit poll. Ranges have gotten tighter, but the basic picture and order is the same. Just where blocks fall in, these margins could matter a lot in what happens in the coming days. Okay, so yeah, they shaved off a little bit more from the new Popular Front, and Ensemble won a bunch more seats overall in the new polling, and RM picked up a bunch too. Breaking news, Breaking news, the propagandist from Israel, friend of Benjamin Netanyahu in French Assembly, has lost the election. Yeah. A result relevant to my followers in the U.S., the overseas district that covers the U.S. and Canada went for the Macronist incumbent. He was facing a left coalition opponent in a two-way runoff. Macronists will do very well in overseas districts. Of course.
They have that? I guess they were like a global empire, but like what happened? What do you mean, people here? Just foreigners living here?
Yeah, maybe. I think so.
Are we talking about like French Guiana?
I think, yeah, that's what they're talking about.
French Guiana loves Macron.
Or what's the island where they killed people recently? That's like...
New Caledonia.
Yeah, it's just like so far. It's crazy that they still...
We want Muslims coming to New Caledonia.
Yeah, exactly. It's so crazy that they still have that. Like, how is that allowed, bro? Like, I don't understand. Like,
doesn't America have a bunch of those as well?
Yeah, Guam.
Yeah.
It's so... But, like, it's America. You know what I mean? Like, they have 800 military bases.
Yeah.
We basically own Europe. We own your country.
Yep.
So, like... That kind of makes sense for America, but like for France, I'm like, who the fuck are you?
Stuck around.
How do you get to control the banking system of like many African nations? Like that doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, but that's like, yeah, I don't understand how they still get to have territories. Like I feel like, especially if you took a L to the Nazis, like you shouldn't be able to maintain your territories, right? Like you should automatically allow recognition and statehood.
Just America to take
or
over.
just give it to America. To be fair, I think they referendumed a few years back and they voted in favor or something. What? Yeah, but that was a...
Yeah, but that's because they're all
French. I thought the locals were allowed to vote.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, literally. They did a referendum and then they also changed this time around they want to do another referendum and they wanted to change the amount of years that you've lived on there to be able to vote for the referendum. And they basically settled a bunch of people and were like and we're saying that like, oh, the people who recently settled should be allowed to vote. Like if they settled recently, they should be allowed to vote for the referendum.
Don't like it, go back to old Caledonia. You know what I'm saying?
Anyway, my people are taking France over, baby. 1, 2, 3, viva la Algeria. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, I'm a French nationalist. I think they should nationalize France. That's not what that means, I don't think. Anyway, fun fact, France shares its longest land border with Brazil. That makes no sense.
Oh, that's like French Guiana.
The pro-independence candidate won in New Caledonia, LMFAO. Okay, so good stuff overall for France, but let's talk about some bad stuff. What is this? French leftist leader Jean-Luc Mélenchon reacts to a video of dancing Charizard on his Instagram story. This is why he won.
Non, mais, non, mais, je rêve. Il sait même pas essuyer les pieds, monte sur ma table. On retourne chez Macron. Non, mais attends, je rêve. Tout le camp. Non, mais,
This is why he won. Many people are saying this.
Yeah, he's up with the memes. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is all Biden has to do.
That's kind of what he does. He grunts.
Yeah, he doesn't have dancing Charizard.
He took Hillary's Pokemon Go to the
He said,
polls.
I am dreaming. He's on my table. Go back to Macron. That's what he says to the Charizard.
What?
He's telling him to go back to Macron and stop bothering him.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
While making it.
Am I dreaming? Stop cleaning your feet on my table. Go back to Macron. What kind of leftist drinks wine out of water out of a wine glass? What do you mean? They're French. They don't have normal glasses there. What are you talking about? This is the only type of glass they own. Oh, this is I unironically believe this played a role in Le Pen losing.
Do you admire Kylian Mbappe, the hero of French soccer?
I'm not much of a football enthusiast, I'll be frank.
Big mistake.
No.
Big mistake. Mbappe has been obviously like shitting on the nationalists a lot.
I think that now, more than ever, we have to go out and vote. There's an emergency. We can't let our country in the hands of these people.
I believe that Mr. Mbappe is a very good footballer, but this tendency for actors, footballers, and singers to come forward and tell French people how they should vote, and particularly to people who earn 13 or 1,400 euros a month, whilst they are millionaires or even billionaires who live abroad. It's starting to not be well received in our country.
Nope. Nope. Yeah. She was like, yeah, stick to football. You make a lot of money. And French people are like, no, that's good. Oh, man.
People how to vote. He just said, you don't represent the kind of country that he would want to play for.
Yes. Well, we know exactly why he did it. I can't stand hearing any more lectures from people who know nothing about how the French are suffering.
Yeah, that didn't work, I think. I think you probably shouldn't shit on like one of the more popular French people on the planet when you're like, you know, trying to win votes in an election. Why is Mbappe telling French people what to do? Because he's in French, apparently. Yeah, she's like, she didn't want to hit that angle, so she tried to be like, he's too rich to speak on this kind of stuff.
So she's a socialist candidate as well. Does anyone know French? How are you meant to say his name?
Mélenchon. Mélenchon. Anyway, electronic artist Marion came out in strong opposition against the far right. Proud of our efforts. We don't want fascism. But yeah, let's move on from the fun stuff in France